The Sharks start the rookie faceoff with a 6-3 win over the Ducks. We 1,000,000% overreact.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at The Reef, my blog about the San Jose Sharks, with a focus on Sharks prospects. Also, the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. And tonight, we're going to have a nice little 15 minutes or so overreacting to the Sharks 6-3 rookie faceoff win against the Ducks. We're going to talk about Quentin Musty and Cam Lund. Michael Misa flashes in his debut, and which other players, had some strong moments. Other players maybe had some moments that they're going to need to continue to work on. So let's start, of course, I think you have to start with that top line of Quentin Musty, Cam Lund, and Philip Bistad. John McCarthy, there's your top line of your Barracuda. This line was excellent all night tonight. Anytime they were on the ice, they were just dominating, controlling the puck, creating shots on goal. And Musty, like he was the driver of this line. And Cam Lund had 2 nice goals tonight and also left this game after shocker, a Ducks player with a dirty hit, an elbow to Lund. He left the game. We don't know anything right now. I would be surprised if he plays on Saturday afternoon, especially 1 with a short turnaround and 2 with we want Lund to be ready for camp and stuff. So I would be surprised if he plays, even if they just hold him out for precautionary reasons. But we'll see with Lund and how this kind of affects the start of his training camp. But back to Quentin Musty, who, I think Musty is kind of on a mission, right? And this past, we know this last season for Musty wasn't the season he envisioned, right? With the trade request that never went through, and then breaking his hand and not really kind of getting on track, having to go back and play in the OHL this season. And, just a lot of Sharks fans just kind of maybe a little bit down. The Musty stock definitely down. I think Musty is out to kind of just remind everybody, don't forget about me, right? Quentin Musty, former first-round pick. I'm also pretty good. He was everywhere tonight, making plays. Like he was, and you saw the physicality from Musty, right? You always know about the skill and stuff, but Musty getting to the dirty areas, Musty, kind of taking a hit to make a play, doing kind of some of those little detail things that's what he's going to have to work on in the AHL. You saw that tonight. And again, right? Yes, we're 100% overreacting. But at the same time, let's keep this with a grain of salt. As you're playing other rookies, like you're not playing against, there's not a lot of NHL experience out there tonight. So, but Quentin Musty, Cam Lund, Philip Bistad, that should be your top line for the Barracuda. Lund tonight showing his scoring. The second one, absolute pizza, just handed to him. Like Lund could not have walked up and put the puck in there earlier any better. And I thought Bistad did a really nice supportive role, right? And that's going to be kind of his job, is to kind of be that supportive player on the line. And I thought Bistad did a great job with that as well. So that line was absolutely spectacular tonight. We saw Misa with Chernyshov and then with Colin Graf. So one, I kind of like the Chernyshov jersey switch. He wore 25 with Saginaw. Then he wore 24 with the Barracuda last year, and he literally had his photo taken at like the rookie Faceoff thing wearing 24, and then he dons the 92. I like the 92 for Chernyshov, but Misa though, like, wasn't a spectacular game from Misa, and you know, and again, like we're Misa's not a bust. Misa's, you know, like this doesn't mean Misa's not going to make the team, et cetera, et cetera. But you saw the chemistry between Misa and Chernyshov, right? With just all those little backdoor plays and all those kind of little, you know, play like with each other, that just kind of communication without having to really do much to between, like, you just saw a lot of that stuff carry over. And a lot of even like the power play was trying to kind of set up those little backdoor plays, because Misa's super comfortable with those plays, right? And we saw a lot of that with Saginaw, and Chernyshov and Misa ran that to perfection last year in their season together with Saginaw. But Misa, I thought tonight you saw a lot of little subtle flashes, right? Some of those little plays and just kind of setting other guys up. And right, wasn't like, you know, every time he stepped on the ice, like he was the best player on the ice or anything like that. And that's fine. Okay. Like, again, we are overreacting, but we're not overreacting to this, right? I thought Miso had a perfectly like good showcase tonight, right? For what you saw from Misa. And as he continues to grow and develop, and remember, he's probably the youngest player out there, or one of the youngest players out there. I thought he really played. I thought you saw why he's going to be a special player and how he can elevate the other players around him. But yeah, Chernyshov, Misa, like that combo is so freaking good. And Colin Graff, like kind of as the veteran out there, made some nice plays as well, you know, and had a nice goal too. Almost had a second goal off a really nice feed from Michael Misa. Tip of the hat to the Ducks goalie at that point. But you know, among those top line guys, like I thought those top two lines definitely carried the Sharks, and especially that top line of Beasthead, Lund, and Musty. So, and like, again, we're not going to overreact. So if you thought maybe Misa had a poor showing, etc. So we're going to, because it's a short episode here, we're probably going to do about 15 minutes. We're going to look at the defensemen. We're going to talk about Carson Wetsch, who I thought had a really good game as well. We'll talk about Dickinson. We'll talk about Cagnoni. We'll talk about Wang. And of course, Joshua Ravensbergen. Plenty of fun stuff to continue. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. And if you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It's like Puckpedia for you. So, and the great thing about it too is maybe you and your partner have separate accounts, but you're working towards a shared goal, whether it's buying a house, buying a car, or just planning for your next adventure. They make it super easy to work together, but also keep your own stuff. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. All right, before we continue, of course, I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe. As hockey is back, kids, we are back, and it felt great to watch hockey again. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, other big takeaways. Let's start with we'll jump to the defense. I thought Luca Cagnoni showed why Luca Cagnoni continues to be really awesome. He just was all over the ice tonight, both offensively and defensively, making smart plays. I saw like a lot of good work in the defensive zone as well, and we saw him in the offensive zone, right? Just how, especially driving the power play, just how ridiculous that kid is going to be. So I thought he continued to play well. Like all the AHL guys, or like guys who were kind of around, I thought they all had a good showing, right? And even guys like Hache for long, like all those guys who kind of been around last year, I thought all played really well. Sam Dickinson, I thought strong game from him. You saw kind of those moments from him. I thought he played pretty well in his own zone. One of those games where you didn't really hear his name much or say, but it's one of those like, because he was doing all the little right things, right? And took advantage of his opportunities. We had him, especially on the power play and taking some shots there. But I thought in the defensive zone was really steady, didn't really make any mistakes. That was, kind of really noticeable. And I just thought he had a really nice, steady game. Nothing too flashy tonight from Dickinson, but it kind of the type of game that you can to easily build upon. So Wang, I thought everyone, like a lot of people ask, like, well, you keep saying he's a raw player, like this is why, right? Where you saw him make some really nice plays. I thought he had a really nice breakout to Haltonen that led to, I think some offensive zone time. But then sometimes the like over handling of the puck that led to a turnover, which led to the Michael Misa penalty. And that was a smart penalty from Misa, where if you don't take that slash there, that's an odd man rush heading back towards Joshua Ravensbergen. Or the, kind of led to, there was another giveaway, right? Kind of where he kind of gets beat on a one-on-one battle, and that leads to it. I think that actually led to the first goal there, or maybe Ravensbergen stopped it. But still, like some of those plays where you see, especially with that size and skill, where he can be such a great player. But he just needs more reps, right? And that's why we keep saying he's such a raw player, because he just needs more reps. And a lot of this stuff I think will get ironed out as he plays more games. And for him, like he's going to be going back to Oshawa this year. But this was one of those games. Like this was the Wang experience of some very up and down play. But you saw those flashes of what I think is why he's gonna be a special player. So. And I did like that pairing with Wang and Cagnoni, because as kind of, even I went back this summer when I talked about Wang and I used Cagnoni as example. Having a defensive stalwart like Wang will unlock a guy like Cagnoni or an offensive defenseman, because of Wang's ability to just cover so much space so quickly that Cagnoni can hang in there for that split second longer to try to kind of make something happen, right? And we know Cagnoni can make a lot of stuff happen. So it was good to see those guys play really well. Matthias Havlin, you saw like that goal. Woo! Just this little like kind of opens up the hips there and just kind of dangles the defender in just a sweet, like he knew that thing was in before, like as he turned around. Like that was like a Curry like shot, like he turns around, he knows it's going in type of play. But yeah, Havlin, I thought that was a really nice, kind of a nice reminder from Havlin of what makes him kind of an intriguing player as well. So Carson Wetsch, who is going to be everybody's favorite pest, showed why. He fought a dude 6'6". Yes. Did he take like 10 punches in a row? 100%. But Wetsch did not back down. That's what he does. But he's such a steady player too. And the thing I like about Wetsch is, yes, he has that kind of, like he'll play to the edge and he'll be like kind of get under guys' skin, but he can also score and like he can do other things. And he's not just like go out. He's not just like a rat player but he can actually like provide skill and do things. And that third line, I thought between him and Haltonen, like I thought they played, they kind of fulfilled their role of kind of providing some of that muscle and providing that. And same thing with Haltonen, who had a couple opportunities tonight. I think there was one play where there was a face-off draw where he fumbles the puck a little bit, because if not, he was going to have a clean shot to the net, which we've seen that play. He's run that play a bajillion times with London, but I thought that third line played pretty well as well. So going to end it with Joshua Ravensbergen, who I kind of surprised he got the full game, but I'm happy he did get the full game tonight. I thought overall he looked pretty good. Had a really nice breakaway save in the game that literally direct, like the 30 seconds later, Cam Lund scores to make it 4-2. One of those goals where, like, if you let in the goal there, right, and then it's tied and the game's completely different, he makes a big save there, which then turns into a Sharks goal. How often do we see that? Or how often have we seen that on the Sharks side, right, where Sharks get stopped on a big save, and then all of a sudden the Sharks give up a goal 30 seconds later, type of thing. Nice to be on the other side of that tonight. But I thought Ravensbergen played really well. Two of the goals, though, kind of coming from the point or coming from the top there with some traffic in front of him. The third goal, like, there was just a ton of traffic. There's not much you could do there, but I know, got a little tip there, but interesting to see that, that was his. I want to see how he continues to kind of work on that area. And again, one night here, but see how Ravensberg, especially shots from distance. So overall, though, you got to feel pretty good about how the Sharks played tonight. I thought the big guys played well, especially the guys who have kind of been in the system for some time. And I know Musty showed up at the end of the year last year. Same thing with Lund, who showed up at the end of the year, but still have gotten like professional practices and been in part of the system. I thought all those guys played really well, and that's exactly what you want to see, right? And Misa, I thought a subtle game from Misa, where like he made some really nice little subtle plays, nothing kind of overwhelming, or like, it wasn't like oh my God, Misa's the best player on the ice, nothing like that. But I thought Misa had a really solid game as well. And hopefully, like I said, Cam Lund is feeling good. Like, I don't think he'll play tomorrow just because one short turnaround. And we'll see kind of who gets an opportunity to kind of take that Lund spot on the first line. So, but yeah, great. It's great to be back. So that's gonna be it for me tonight. We'll probably be back tomorrow afternoon to cover the Sharks Kings game as well. So that's at 1:00. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.